From the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains in beautiful Colorado, it is Friday, October 16th, 2020, and this is Truly News. I am your host, Jason Van Sickle. I hope that you had a great day yesterday. We are finally at the end of the week, so I also hope that your week has gone well. As we begin this new day, let's start by getting smarter and being well informed with a review of today's news. As always, we start with a look at the top headlines from across the country. The top headlines at most news agencies this morning are focused on the separate town hall meetings that Donald Trump and Biden held last night. A second presidential debate was originally scheduled for Thursday. The group in charge of the presidential debate had decided that the second debate would need to be virtual since Trump had recently been hospitalized for COVID. However, after Trump refused to participate in a virtual debate, the candidates decided to hold separate town hall-style meetings. Here is what the headlines are saying about those events. From the New York Times, Trump's combative town hall event stands in stark contrast with Biden's. From the Los Angeles Times, Trump's town hall turns contentious while Biden's focuses on policy. From CNN, the president sparred with his moderator while Biden's slower-paced town hall focused more on policy. From Fox News, Biden moves on court-packing stance while Trump spars with NBC in dueling town halls. And from the Washington Post, Trump doubted the effectiveness of wearing masks, refused to denounce QAnon, repeatedly declined to say whether he tested for COVID before the last debate, and battled with the moderator. Biden spoke about taxes, fracking, outreach to black voters, foreign relations, and the pandemic, often chatting with the moderator, bantering with voters, and asking whether he answered their questions. In other headlines, from USA Today, 5 things you need to know for Friday. Number 1, President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden will return to the campaign trail on Friday in key battleground states. Trump will travel to Georgia and Florida, and Biden will make a campaign swing through southeastern Michigan. Number 2, today is the 25th anniversary of the Million Man March, the day when black men united in their pain and power. And number 3, Apple fans rejoice as iPhone pre-sales begin. Pre-sales of iPhone 12 will begin today, starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Number 4, planning a trip to Mexico, then prepare to quarantine as the country struggles with COVID and puts in place new travel restrictions. And number 5, Major League Baseball continues its playoffs with the World Series teams likely to be chosen this weekend. And finally, in our look at the top headlines, here are the stories that are crossing the wire at Reuters News. Wind-stoked fire in Colorado is the largest in state history. Also, new coronavirus infections rise to record highs in the U.S. Midwest and beyond. And the Republican-led U.S. Senate on Thursday moved a step closer to confirming President Donald Trump's U.S. Supreme Court choice, Amy Coney Barrett, with the Judiciary Committee scheduling an October 22nd vote on her nomination despite Democratic objections. And those are your top headlines for today. To put us all in a better mood after those headlines, we now present our top 5 joke countdown. As usual, bringing us the countdown is my friend Billy Cunningham. Billy is a comedian who goes by the stage name Potbelly. And here's Billy.
Thank you, Jason. From my studios here in Sweetwater, Appalachia, this is Billy Potbelly Cunningham. By the way, for those of you who live in Garfield, Georgia, on October 18th, I will be hosting open mic night at the Shiverin' Pickle Cafe, famous for its dill-flavored ice cream. Yummy! Hope to see you there. Now, on to our jokes. My intern Penny is handing me the joke cards for today. She gets these jokes from Reader's Digest. And, as an up-and-coming comedian, she often rewrites a few to make 'em even funnier. So, let's see how she done. And, looking here at the cards, it looks like our category today is knock-knock jokes. Ooh, baby. Here we go. Number 5. This first card says, knock, knock. Who's there? Mickey. Mickey who? My key isn't working. Let me in, man. Oh, that's a pretty classic knock-knock joke. Hey, Penny, what are you wearing today? Is that a polyester tracksuit? It is? Wow. You look like an old man from Florida. Fancy a game of shuffleboard? Sorry, just messing with you. Oh man, you gotta see what she's wearing. Anyway, number 4. Knock, knock. Who's there? Oink, oink. Oink, oink. Who? Make up your mind. Are you a pig or an owl? Okay, that was all right. So, Penny, what were you saying to me right before that joke? You bought the clothes from a vintage store? What's vintage? It's just used clothes? That's it? Okay, shoot, I got a whole closet full of vintage. Anyway, number 3. Knock, knock. Who's there? Figs. Figs who? Figs the doorbell. It's broken. Nice. But seriously, Penny, people buy that stuff? Oh, really? There's stores that buy and sell those clothes? Wow. I seriously have a closet full. I may be sitting on a gold mine. Seriously. I got some old flannel from the 90s, a few pair of Z Cavaricci jeans from the 80s, and I think I even have a plaid suit from when I graduated from high school in the 70s. Yeah. All right, seriously. Moving on. Gotta get these jokes done. Knock, knock. Who's there? None. None who? None your business. Man, that would be annoying if somebody said that. I'd be like, why you knocking on my door then, man? Mind your own business. And get off my lawn. And our number 1 knock-knock joke of the day. Knock, knock. Who's there? Wooden shoe. Wooden shoe who? Wouldn't you like to hear another knock-knock joke? No. We're done. Well, those are your jokes for today. I'm glad we had a little time together this morning, and I look forward to our time together tomorrow. In the meantime, be kind to others, be good to yourself, and keep on smiling. This is Billy Potbelly Cunningham signing off. Over and out.
There you have it, folks. Billy and his top 5 countdown. Thanks, Billy. And now we return to the news. From the world of science and technology, USA Today reports that cells from a horse kept frozen at the San Diego Zoo for 40 years were thawed out recently and used to clone an endangered species of horse. The article says that the procedure involved taking the cells and fusing them with the egg of a normal domestic horse. The egg's nucleus was removed so that the only genetic material in the egg was from the unfrozen cells, and that ensured that the resulting baby horse would be an exact clone of the horse that died 40 years ago. The new baby horse, named Little Kurt, is healthy and doing well. That is fascinating. Also in science and technology news, from USA Today, the average temperature of the Earth broke all previous records last month, and we may be on target for the warmest year ever. This week, U.S. scientists announced that last month was the hottest September on record in terms of global temperatures. The global average temperature was 60.75 degrees. Keep in mind that is the average of the half of the globe that was in winter and the other half that was wrapping up its summer. That temperature was 1.75 degrees above the 20th century average and the hottest September in the 141 years that scientists have been recording global temperatures. And our final article from Science and Technology News, from the BBC, Google has unveiled new robots which are self-driving autonomous vehicles designed to roam farm fields and inspect crops. These small car-like vehicles sit on top of tall, narrow wheels that allow them to drive through fields without disturbing the plants. Launched by Google's parent company called Alphabet, the prototype robots can inspect individual plants in a field to help farmers improve crop yields. They will also be used to collect huge amounts of data about how crops grow. This is all part of an initiative called Project Mineral, which is part of one of Alphabet's companies called X Development. X was created to focus on what is called moonshot ideas, or ideas that are bold and aim to become breakthrough technologies that change the world. And those are your science and technology headlines for today. In health news, CNN reports that 21 states have hit their peak 7-day average of new COVID-19 cases this week. Much of the United States continues to report an upward trend in coronavirus cases, with nearly 60,000 cases recorded nationwide on Wednesday alone, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. As of Thursday morning, the nation's average new daily cases were up 16% from the previous week, a trend that concerns health experts as we head into the cooler months and the flu season. Also in health news, from Forbes, Fauci attacks herd immunity declaration embraced by White House as, quote, total nonsense, unquote. The United States top infectious disease official, Dr. Anthony Fauci, told ABC News that an anti-lockdown declaration being considered by the White House, which advocates using herd immunity acquired through infection to control the pandemic, is, quote, ridiculous, total nonsense, and will lead to hospitalizations and deaths, unquote. And that is your health news for today. Now we take another break from the headlines for today's Words of Wisdom. To present this segment is Dr. Albert Feinstein, my philosophy professor from college. And here's Dr. Feinstein.
Thank you, Mr. Van Sickle. Hello, and welcome to today's Words of Wisdom. Today's words of wisdom are from the philosopher Bertrand Russell, who said, "Fear is the main source of superstition and one of the main sources of cruelty. To conquer fear is the beginning of wisdom." Here, Russell is pointing out that irrational actions come from fear. Superstitions hope to avoid misfortune, and cruelty is the lashing out at sources of our fear. Those are primitive survival instincts, but we are evolving and we can replace those instincts with rational thought. Whenever you feel strong emotions, remind yourself that those emotions are primitive instincts kicking in, and they can be replaced with rational thought. Stop, think, and reason through this situation. That type of self-analysis and self-awareness is a sign that wisdom is overcoming your primitive instinct. And those are your words of wisdom for today. Until next time, keep seeking wisdom and believe in your incredible potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Feinstein. We appreciate your words of wisdom and your encouragement. Now, we return to our review of the day's news. In entertainment news, we start with new movies, and today's movie is The New Mutants, starring Maisie Williams, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Charlie Heaton. This movie falls into the categories of action, horror, and sci-fi. And here is the description from IMDb. After a near-death experience during a strange tornado, Danielle Moonstar wakes in an abandoned research facility run by the mysterious Dr. Cecilia Reyes. There, Dr. Reyes introduces Danny to 4 other equally uncommon teenagers, Ilyana Rasputin, Rain Sinclair, Sam Guthrie, and Roberto DaCosta. Dr. Reyes seems to want to keep them safe and sound until they learn how to be in full control of their extraordinary abilities. However, even though the exceptional team of traumatized inmates believe that they're being treated and cared for, before long they all start to experience horrifying hallucinations. But this institution was supposed to be a safe place. Are they patients or prisoners? The New Mutants is now showing in theaters. Moving on, we look at newly released shows, and today's show is The Bachelorette Season 16. And here is the description from ABC.com. Claire Crowley will head back to the Bachelor Mansion again. Claire had women across America cheering when she famously stood up to the controversial Bachelor Juan Pablo during the memorable 18th season finale of The Bachelor. With her head held high, Claire left the season with a new sense of self-worth and a determination to never settle for anything less than the unconditional love and respect that she deserved. The Bachelorette Season 16 is now showing on ABC. Finally, in our entertainment news, we take a look at newly published books. And our book for today is Troubles in Paradise by Ellen Hilderbrand. This book is presently number 1 on the New York Times fiction bestseller list. Here is a summary of the book from Amazon.com. Travel to the Caribbean one last time in the satisfying conclusion to the nationally best-selling Winter in Paradise trilogy by Ellen Hilderbrand. After uprooting her life in the States, Irene Steele has just settled in at the villa on St. John, where her husband Russ has been living a double life. But a visit from the FBI shakes her foundations, and Irene once again learns just how little she knew about the man she loved. With help from their friends, Irene and her son set up their lives while evidence mounts that the helicopter crash that killed Russ may not have been an accident. Meanwhile, the island watches this drama unfold, including the driver of a Jeep with tinted windows who seems to be shadowing the Steele family. As a storm gathers strength in the Atlantic, surprises are in store for the Steeles. At last, all will be revealed about the secrets and lies that brought Irene and her sons to St. John, and the truth that transformed them all. Trouble in Paradise is now available in print at your local bookstore, and it is also available in print, Kindle, and audiobook formats on Amazon. And that concludes our entertainment news for the day. As always, we end our broadcast with a look at what we call Happy News, and here is your Happy News story for the day. Outside of Jackie Larson's house is a fence that has masks of many different colors hanging on the fence posts. They are waiting to be picked up by those who have put in an order for Jackie's masks. However, these masks and all of the masks that Jackie makes are free. Back when the pandemic first hit, Jackie started making masks for her daughter, who is an essential worker. With masks in short demand at the time, she quickly found herself making masks for her daughter's co-workers. As word spread, so did demand. With years of experience sewing, Jackie found herself with a skill set that was needed and a way that she could lend a helping hand to others. So, she went to work. Along the way, she enlisted some help, like her granddaughter, who she calls her little helper. It is a good thing that she has help because she eventually got requests from many people, including the fire department, local schools, area hospitals, and small businesses as they began to reopen. In the beginning, Jackie could make about 10 masks a day. Since then, she has gotten better and she can now make 100 masks in one weekend. To date, Jackie has made and given away over 4,300 masks to help keep people safe during the pandemic. To help her efforts, community members have been donating sewing items such as fabric and thread. When asked how many more masks she plans to make, Jackie replied, "I could probably make another 5,000 masks. So, I'll just keep sewing as long as I can and as long as people need them." And that is your news for October 16th, 2020. Have a wonderful day.